Hi, thank you for joining me. Welcome back. Sheryl Crow, Tuesday Night Music Club. So I can remember I was actually in a musical instrument and hi-fi shop in Winchester where I grew up, but I was actually working as a rep at the time and calling on them for business. And on their sort of video screen in the hi-fi AV part of the shop, All I Want to Do, the video for All I Want to Do came on. And it just, you know, what an incredibly groovy, cool, sort of that little sort of, the little sort of stick kind of, kind of thing going on. And just the groovy guitars, slide guitars, the phenomenal bass. Just what an amazing, catchy, but kind of organic, American, proper, analog, rootsy kind of groove. We just come out of the 80s and where everything was kind of processed, polished, computerized. And this to me was so refreshing, and for a new musical artist too, someone who was just pure music, really. And so I bought the CD there and then, really, and I've loved it ever since. It's been one of my favourite CDs, and it's a very similar tale to the Tori Amos Scarlet's Walk scenario, where just, I absolutely fall in love with an album that's only available on CD, or, as with the, Scarlet's Walk, this was available on cassette at the time as well, but I bought the CD because I kind of guessed that was the best. And, it's a brilliant sounding album. It's a really brilliant sounding album. And everything about it, Tuesday Night Music Club, it's what it says on the tin kind of thing. It's a bunch of guys, real proficient musicians who kind of hook up and just jam and have fun. That's what it feels like to me. And what you get on the vinyl, of course, is you get, all the lyrics, really nice gatefold cover. That's the back cover, same as the CD issue, really. But, a great album, a great package, and it's absolutely superb. But just to talk about the sounding, I mean, if we go to the CD, if we talk about the CD, because that's what I've known for, what are we saying, 93, so 30 years. That's what I've known for 30 years. And I've loved it. I mean, it really is like, Scarlet's Walk, Beekeeper, and there's a good handful of others. Some of my favourite CDs. And I was actually at it was a business lunch, dinner, party kind of thing, a good few years ago now. I think it was the 40th anniversary of Clear Audio, who I was doing some PR work for at the time. Excuse me. And I was sat next to Tim DeParavicini, the late, great Tim DeParavicini. And we were sat chatting, and he was telling me a story. I mean, we were chatting mostly about tape. Anyway, I can't remember the details, but anyway, he was talking about how he had to personally courier a master tape from, a record company to a mastering studio or wherever. I can't remember the exact details, but we were chatting about it, and I can't remember why this particular story stuck in his mind, but anyway, we were chatting, and it came up that it was this album. Now, that was about 6 years ago, probably, and like I said, it was, whoa, that was recorded on tape, because 93, not a lot was recorded on tape. It was kind of the, digital recording was coming in there, and tape recording was becoming rarer. And the fact that it had never had a vinyl release, I just assumed it was a digital recording, and the powers that be at the time had thought, well, let's not bother. Vinyl's passé, we don't want it anymore. So I was just dumbfounded when I found out that this was recorded on tape. And from that moment forward, I've been just, passionately desiring its vinyl release. And lo and behold, here we are, 1st December. Now, this was, I got this from Raves from the Grave, my local record shop. I'll put a link to them down in the description below. But I'm trying to think what it was now. I think it was £27, which is, it's £27. Look at it. It's a beautiful gatefold cover, and this is not the inner sleeve it comes in, but made in Preston, Czechoslovakia, so it's GZ Media, I believe. 5 tracks on side 1, 6 tracks on side 2. And, anyone who knows the CD will know it's a phenomenal sounding CD. And this is a phenomenal sounding vinyl LP. It really, really, really is. Now, I just want to talk a little bit, obviously, about that, and the sound, and really how it differs from the CD. Anyone who doesn't know this album, just please go on to Spotify, Qbuzz, Tidal, whatever you use, Rune, and just have a listen. If there was ever a recording that captures that, what makes good music, if you really, really love just rhythms, the swinging groove of a half a dozen guys or girls together, just absolutely gelling and just singing together in every way, shape and form. This is it. There's some real funky, fun, groovy kind of, upbeat kind of tunes. There's some incredibly kind of pensive, sort of reflective kind of tunes. It's just, it's jazzy. It's got roots in country, in jazz, in sort of blues. It's absolutely beautiful, an amazing thing. But anyway, the sound. I keep trying to get onto the sound. So how does it differ? And have a listen to it on a digital form, and you'll hear it's a great sounding thing. Now, on vinyl, her voice is richer. There's more colour in her voice on the vinyl than there is in the CD. One of the first things you notice is the soundstage is notably wider on vinyl than on CD. The piano, even on the first track, Run Baby Run, the piano's there. On CD it's quite muted, sort of in the left channel it's quite muted. It's much more prevalent and full of colour on vinyl. The organ is just phenomenal, Technicolor, full-blown Hammond wonderfulness on vinyl. When you go back to the CD, it's kind of quite glassy and smeared. And that really is sort of the way all the way through the album. It's basically, it's a wider sound stage, it's a richer, denser sort of sound. The CD sounds clearer, but that density of the vinyl actually just is more organic, natural sounding sort of reality, if you like. The piano's got more colour, the cymbals have got more shimmer. Those are the sort of the layers, the various guitars. You think you've got acoustic guitar, sort of electric kind of funky guitar. You've got pedal steel guitar. You've got pianos. You've got organs. Some wonderful, wonderful percussive little sort of shakers, and I don't know what you call those. Sort of kind of things that sound like a kind of a croaking frog. Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Just going through some of these tracks. Run Baby Run is absolute, it's the opener. I can't not like it. Leaving Las Vegas, Strong Enough, Can't Cry Anymore. I've got to be absolutely honest. This is the thing about a really, really great album, or even perfect album, is there isn't a bad track on it. There isn't a weak moment. It changes from, kind of rocking to a sort of a bluesy sort of a little bit of a comedy aspect, almost tongue-in-cheeky kind of thing, to a sort of a self-searching kind of thoughtful song, and it just, all the way through to just outright having fun, and I don't know what else to say, really. I love this album. It is absolutely amazing, and the sound is just what you would want. It's got the the most amazingly deep, wonderfully kind of recorded bass. It's deep, it's powerful, and it's massive, with reverb and sort of effects on it like that. So it just sounds, it kind of puts me in mind of sort of Dire Straits almost, or sort of U2, the sort of, the Unforgettable Fire. I mean, it doesn't sound like the Unforgettable Fire recorded in a castle, but it's got that same degree of atmosphere and space, a bit like on the Joshua Tree as well. But it's that sort of, that era. So think of Dire Straits at their height, U2 at their height, in terms of a sort of an intensity and a musicality and a swing, but something that's just a little bit more honest, and just real and down to earth, and it's just one of those absolutely, utterly magical, wonderful things where, 30 odd years ago, a musical thing happened in a studio somewhere, where 5 or 6 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, and her 7, including the engineer, were just so naturally putting music together. It's got the essence of just what I love about music. The feel of just grooving, swinging, kind of coming together of creative and artistic and beings that just gel and flow together, and the product of that is just so wonderful and magical and massive, and you can't dial that up. You can't make that magic happen. It just happens, and fortunately that happened all those years ago, 30 odd years ago. It was captured on tape, and we've had to wait a long time, but now it's here. Just one of the most beautiful musical events ever, really. Well done, Sheryl Crow. I think this is an incredible album, and worth every year of the 30 years we've had to wait for it. Can't recommend it highly enough. An absolute beautiful recording. Well done, Sheryl Crow. Well done. Thank you at long last for giving it on vinyl. On that note, I'll say cheerio. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.